Step and block. Hey. Hey. Hook. Right there. Hey. Hey. Hook. Feet. Go. Right there. Remember, eyes, feet, hip, hands. Eyes, feet, hip, hands. Hey. Hey. Hook. Right there. Hey. Hey. Hook. Feet. Oh. Good. Right there. One more time. Hey. Hey. Hug. Feet. Go. Okay, when we're throwing a rising block, I've already thrown this one. Next one is coming. From my shoulder, from elbow or fist, which moves first?
On which hand, sir?
On the hand that's about to block. So this hand is already up, this hand is coming. So to make my rising block, which moves first? My hand or my elbow?
My hand does. My hand or my shoulder.
Okay. Why does that move first?
Why does what? My hand?
Why is it the hand that moves first?
Because it's the start of it and brings your elbow to it. You don't want your elbow flaring out because you're going up.
Right. Absolutely. Because basically it's the shoulder joint that moves first.
Yes.
And the shoulder joint has to move first, which makes my hand, should make my hand lead. This way.
Yes.
Here. I'm seeing too much of elbow first and forearm. Both of these. This crossing motion, we'll get into why later. This crossing motion. Basically my hand is almost straight up, depending upon your flexibility. It presses up, the fist is leading. Everything else is behind it. If I lead with my elbow, I'm not going to block anything. Like there. Hey. Hey. Hug. Like there. Good. No outside block. Hey. Hey. Hug. Like there. Hey. Hey. Hug. Like there. In what position should our blocking hand be, our blocking arm be for our middle outside block? Somebody tell me the basic position. Describe it to me. And don't say right here. That's not what I'm talking about.
90-degree angle
Of
your.
there's part of it that needs to be about 90 or a little plus. What is it?
This part.
The elbow, right. The elbow needs to be 90 degrees or a little bit more than 90 degrees. What else? Right. When you say level with the shoulder, those are great words. They're the words that I use. I've heard Sean use them as well. What exactly does that mean? What is your shoulder? And what is your fist?
Probably right above where your armpit line ends.
Right. You can use whatever words you want. So basically, top of the fist is even with the very top of your shoulder joint. Or the fist is even with the pocket of your shoulder joint, which is kind of what Greg was describing. This is not even with my shoulder. This is my wrist even with my shoulder. Why is this bad?
Like this?
Yeah.
To me, your shoulder's not disengaged.
Right. You're now engaging the deltoids and disengaging all the good muscle groups because you're lifting your shoulder joint up. What else? What else makes this position really detrimental when I'm sparring Shihan over here? When I'm sparring with him, why is this a not good position? And how do I know this is not a good position?
Too high.
Why is it too high? We know it's too high. Why though? Right. Because he will eat your ribs all day long. That's how I know. Okay, what else? What else? There's a couple more things that we talked about. What are they?
To me, it should.
You're pointing at it, so go for it.
Should be over it. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but it should be past. It shouldn't be with the inside. Like it should be outside of your leg area that you want to come across.
Within certain parameters, I will agree with his wording. The words I use are the outside of your arm is even with the outside of your body. All right. Block too shallow, you get hit. You block too far, I'm blocking air. Why would I block air? The air can protect itself. One more thing. What is it?
The outside part should be even with the outside of your body.
Yeah, it's not even with the outside.
I'm sorry, using those words.
A little bit past is okay. Again, depends on your skeletal structure. Kind of goes back to like last week. What is the principle, not the principle kind of thing? So a little bit outside is a good thing depending upon the person. No, too far. Sorry. One more part that we talk about with a middle outside block. What is it? It helps you get two of the other three things. If I have all of those things together, but I'm here, is this a good spot? I've satisfied the other three criteria. Is this a good middle outside block?
Your elbow being out a little bit.
Right. How far?
Couple inches from your torso. An inch or two.
About 1 fist off of your rib cage. This way. So touching the ribs, you're all bound up again. So top of the fist, even with the top of the shoulder, 90 degrees, maybe a little past 90 in the elbow. Even with the outside, about 1 fist off your rib cage. Going forward. Hey! Hey! Up! Like this. Hey! 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 Up! Like this. Hey! Wider in the front stance. Okay, somebody tell me about a front stance.
Pardon me?
Somebody tell me about a front stance.
Front stance, sir. One of the stances in our karate.
Everybody wonders why I hate Greg. More specific. Carson, you're way too quiet.
Not too shallow, not too thin.
Oh, see, you're really begging for an ass whipping today.
Syndrome, just right.
All right, Greg is going to shut up now, and Carson's going to finish telling me about a front stance. Teach me a front stance.
Well, the main thing is keeping your knee bent to where if you look down, you can't see your front foot. Your feet are facing straight forward or at a slight angle, and most of the weight is in weights more distributed here, and your feet and your front foot is not too big.
It's not what?
The weight distribution for the front foot's not a major difference.
Not a major difference. Put some numbers to that for me.
I'd say 55 to 45%.
55, 45. Okay. Where'd you come up with those two numbers?
Honestly, just off of my head.
Okay. So in the, how many years now? See, this is why I'm kind of doing this, as not only so you guys can help teach your white belt, so I can figure out where your two brains are at, because it's kind of fun right now for me.
Yeah.
See, if you didn't notice that was Shihan over there committing suicide after he kills you for embarrassing him so badly in front of me that he cannot stand the shame anymore. So maybe you want to try that again?
I'll be honest.
Okay, you don't remember. Okay, that's fine.
I never learned.
Okay, bail him out before Sean kills him.
I couldn't hear all, but with it, the front sets, your front knee, typically a gauge of whether it's right. Or when you look, you shouldn't be able to see your toes or barely see
Right.
the little tips of your toes there, which means you're leaning forward enough.
Okay?
Where it's a strong front stance.
Right.
Your back leg is extended where it's engaged, and your posture is 90 degrees bent up. You're not leaning forward. You're
Okay.
staying.
Tell me about the weight distribution. This is what just got him in deep trouble.
With the front stance, I would say 70-30.
70-30. Those are the words that I know you have heard regularly for the past however God many years he has been here.
Just for the record, he whispered to me 70-30, and I said it's
See, that's a see, he's trying to help you out, which I don't know why. He's trying to bail you out, so I guess he's feeling really magnanimous today. But anyway, good thought. Weak attempt, though. Weak attempt. All right, let's talk about front stance. Yes. Everybody seems fixated on not being able to see your toe over your knee. Okay, sure. What does that tell us about the front leg, though? What that tells us is that there is about a 90-degree angle in my ankle. I don't want to be past my toe, and I don't want to be shallow on my toe. So, 90 degrees in the ankle, which will give me that. If I look down, I'll just barely see my big toe. Feet are shoulder width apart, your shoulder width. So, if you're a really big dude like Sean Eric, your feet are wider. If you're a little skinny dude, your feet are narrower. But it looks the same because the human body is proportional. So, my feet are shoulder width apart. My feet are now not shoulder width apart. I go wonky. My feet are now not shoulder width apart. I'm curved. My body won't take that. I don't like that nonsense. This Zenkuchidachi, the Japanese for front stance, actually translates to front leaning stance, which is where the 70-30 comes from. So my weight is forward. Greg is right. 90 degrees to the back or slightly forward. Not this, and definitely not that. Right? This. The feet, textbook, ideal, perfect world, perfect flexibility, are both straight. Depends on your flexibility. That back foot will probably turn out for most people anymore. There is a limit though. Okay? Don't get all crazy. All right. When we're coming forward, what do we do with our feet?
sweeping
We
motion.
make a half moon with our feet. Good. Coming forward. Eight. Eight. Up. What there? Eight. Eight. Up. What there? Eyes, feet, hip, hand. Eyes, feet, hip, hand. You keep turning blind, eventually you're going to either turn into a door frame or somebody's fist.
This.
Down block. Get under eye. Eight. Eight. Up. Like there. 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 Okay, all of you are doing a down block very well, so I'm not going to harp on the technique too much. Tell me the most important thing about your blocking arm elbow in a down block. What is the most important thing about that elbow joint?
That is slightly bent, sir.
That it is slightly bent. Every human being, if you let your arm dangle, has a slight natural bend to it. No one on this earth has an exactly straight elbow, unless they're forcing it. So when you're throwing this down block, make sure you keep that, whatever that degree is, in there. Do not force it straight. You will hyperextend an elbow. And if you hit something like this, blocking something like this, it hurts a lot. Ask me how I know that. Okay? Middle inside block. Middle inside block. There we go. Wait. Knee. Up. Right there. Hey. Hey. Up. Right there. Hey, Carson, tell me about middle inside block. Where should my arm end up after the block? Remember, your life is on the line as well as Sean's, because after he kills you, he's going to kill himself, and that's going to make me sad.
Look at someone with so much hate.
It's going to make me sad when that happens. Okay, define near. Fist and a half. Okay, what else? Yeah, opposite shoulder. That's going to depend on you. Really. Okay. For him, it's about a fist and a half. In case you haven't noticed, this is your neck. That's what he's doing. Because I tell you what, if I had a student who had been taught basically by nobody but me for however God knows many years you've been training with him, and they did this, I would be so embarrassed, I would just like melt away. Never to be seen from again. I would just hang my black belt up and just walk off.
Okay. Your elbow is also at a roughly 90-degree angle.
Okay? Boil that down for me and do just a couple of words. Take your middle outside block, swing it all the way across your body so that it's even with your opposite shoulder. That's the easy way. Okay? So everything that describes the middle outside block describes the middle inside block. Okay? Except one minor thing that we need to be aware of. The position of the fist. It's not palm two. As I'm making my block, this way. And I'm twisting. I'm not stopping flat to my chest. It has to turn to whatever your full turn is. Now, some people have the flexibility, it will turn the other way. That ain't me. I go about 45. I know my flexibility is. But it is definitely not stopping here, even with your chest. Yes. Coming forward. Hey. Hey. There we go. Tug. Right there. Hey. 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 Tug. Right there. Hey. Morote uki. Double block. Low hand, lead knee. Which hand's going? Right. Sure that's where you want that top hand? That's what I thought. You just seen if I was paying attention. Coming forward. Hey! Top hand? There we go. Okay, what's your question?
Asking the boys last night, do you rotate outside or inside?
I'm not sure I understand what you mean by rotate inside or outside. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean. like Greg was saying. The hand that's going up is on the outside, the hand that's going down is on the inside. So, to me, the hands rotate both to the outside. And they're both end up going that way.
I think if we were asking which hand goes on the inside when it's coming, and, you know, whichever one is gonna be ending up down is gonna be on the inside. So I know if this one's up right now, it's gotta go down. So it's gonna go on the inside and then go like this. Same thing now, I know this one has to go down. The one that's going down goes on the inside.
Is that your question? Oh, okay, good job. All right, switch your hands for me. One second. Yeah, you are. And that's a good thing. You want the elbows, if you can, almost to touch. This way. It's not like a windshield wiper, this way. The first thing we do is cover in to pinch the elbows together. All right, let's work this and we'll put a finer point on it in just a second. Hey! There you go. Yeah, switch your hands. Switch your hands. There we go. Hey! Right there. Hey! Hey! Up! I thought you were hanging out the wall. Oh, good. Right there. Hey! 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 Up! Right there. Hey! 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 Up! Right there. Hey! Good. Young man. Okay, let's talk about blocking in general, but specific to double blocking, or the double block. The double block is the most overt, well, in the beginning, it is the most overt demonstration of one of the principles of Shikuru, which is a double blocking motion. Some styles will block one hand. That's your style. Shikuru is not like that. We block with both hands. Basically because it comes from the white frame. We'll watch you. All of our stuff. So when we're here, we're actually making this circle. If I'm going to do a rising block, that's where this comes in. Both hands are working. Middle outside block. Both hands are working. Double block. Both hands are working. Middle inside block. Both hands are working. Right? The hand that is making the load is actually my blocking hand every time. So if I'm here and I'm going to step forward and do a rising block, when I cross this hand that's actually blocking the technique, this moves it out of the way or strikes. Move it out of the way, block. Move it out of the way, block and strike. So here, we're just showing it in a more overt fashion. So we want to cover. One of the things that this double blocking motion does with all of our blocks is it covers the body. How old are you? 18? Okay, good. I'll use my actual letter. I call it your shit block. All right? Whatever comes in, where am I at? I'm set up for every block we do. If I have to eat the first one, at least I'm covered. No matter what block I'm going to end up doing, it starts from this, oh crap, something's coming at me here position. So you're covering the body. So whatever's coming when we're doing double block, elbows together to cover the body. And then we block and strike. one of the tenets of most martial arts, especially here, every block is a
Strike.
strike. Every strike is a block. Right. So we just talked about, middle outside block. A parry, a block, and a strike underneath with the down block. That works. Punch comes in, I slide off and I punch him in the arm. If I block, absolutely. So that's how we're going to think about things from now on. So double block is always elbows together. So you're right. You are going to collide the arm because you want to. And then they're going to grind past each other. Just like that.
Hey,
Good.
yeah, it's kind of, I call it the Matrix, because I remember watching him when he's doing the same, what the hell are you talking about? And eventually though, it does, because if you visualize a hand coming in, you're blocking with this hand here, and then you're moving it out of the way with this hand. So that's, you're blocking it and moving it out of the way, and that's where it is. I don't know if that helps, but whenever they visualize it and show me, I tend to, oh, okay, that's what. So,
Excellent. Good job. All right. We should take the next 15 minutes and start teaching her Goho no Uko.
this,
You up here. Right about there. Back up one. Back up one. Back up one. There we go. Okay. I want you to start Goho no Uko. The entire kata run, each kata twice.
this is one of these.
I think.
I don't know if you grip, it's the, they don't want to, so, you see it before? I'm going to show you, and then,
Relax. You're way too stiff.
this is how
Way
it
too long.
This is how, yeah, they still should do it, it's like, y'all still doing it,
Come on. Okay. You're gonna keep going. You're not gonna repeat Goho no Uko. But here's what I have a question. Do you know what a metronome is in music?
Yeah, the one that keeps the step.
Yeah. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Yeah. It keeps beat for you. You for Goho no Uko, you are moving exactly like a metronome. Click, clack, click, clack, click, clack. You are way past that ever being an acceptable timing unless you are teaching a white belt. Okay? I want to see Carson come out in the kata. I don't want to see, oh, it's this move, it's that move. I don't want to see you reading the textbook to me as to the move. I want to see your heart and soul come out. That doesn't mean go fast, go hard. I want to see your timing and your conceptualization of the kata.
Okay.
So pick up it, Antiropo, and continue.
I always find white belt classes hard in this aspect. I always find white belt classes hard in this aspect. To do with myself. I don't have the time.
I'm about half deaf anyway, so you've seen a lot of noises over the years. I need you to project through that last
I always find white belt classes a little bit on the harder side to get a timing down besides that.
Okay? Work on it.
Yeah, that's.
That's more what I'm talking about. Keep going.
It's the same thing, promise not to let it go. Okay. So, alright, so first, I think it's a first stance, and I got it.
You sure about that, Greg?
Start it. Yeah, it's back. Start it. You couldn't just let me live in my wrong?
Well, it didn't mean I wouldn't have to fix her later on my mind.
So it's actually, so playing something coming in. And then that works on into the stance. Keep yourself straight.
come out. Keep going.
Does that feel, does that feel, comfortable? You feel strong? Do you feel strong? So, that, and then now, I'm gonna go. So, you learn the whole process. No, no, no. So, here we go. Just this. One stance, all you do, turn that way, 45 degrees. That's what we're supposed to do. So, do this one.
Trying to think how to ask the question so that it'll make sense outside my head.
So this is front stance, this is hard stance. And you should be technically, because the way you turn was 45 degrees.
We'll take just a punch for a second, but it applies to any technique.
If I'm going over
There's a certain way your body has to move to throw a punch.
straight,
Describe that to me from the very beginning
straight,
to the very end of the punch.
straight, and 45. That's what you're going to do.
If you want to make a step because it might be easier to visualize. If you want to step while you're punching, it might help visualize it. I don't know.
Getting your knees bent a little more.
Because I do want you to describe both feet.
So, so as long as whatever you feel is comfortable, you do that. And then same thing with both stance. If both knees are going to be bent like that. The front stance, the front knees are like this. When you do this, both knees are going to be bent to the same. When I do it, this knee doesn't even move. It's just, well, I guess it doesn't move. Alright, so let's get through the first move, which is not, so stop where you are.
Okay, for the first step,
You're doing
bring it out. Shift both hands vertically.
loading.
Bring this one in.
Okay, stop. You're not wrong, but it's not answering the question in its totality. So before we get too far down here, I'm going to rephrase the question. Or actually, I'm going to add a question to it that might elicit a different answer from you. How many body parts are involved in throwing a punch?
It's just another way of going out the slot. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to focus on ground block, first steps, then post steps.
All of them. That's the answer. Every part of your body is involved in throwing that punch. So, knowing that, rephrase your answer. Starting from the very beginning of where a punch starts from.
You want to get really far back? It starts with your brain thinking about it.
Okay?
It starts with your brain.
There we go. Okay, now we're on to something. Keep going.
Brain senses signals throughout your body. And
You're going to do
starts
exactly what I'm asking you to
losing
do,
your weight.
right? So you're going to do front stance down block.
Yeah.
Then you're going to load.
While you're doing it, while you're moving.
I want you to describe a stepping punch to me, not a staggering punch.
And then you're going to do a shift outside block. So each time
There we go. Keep going. Now we got it. Keep going.
Bring it out and
Okay. Yes, but I want you to describe it in more detail. So you took like 3 great big chunks, which answered my question greatly. But what I want is smaller chunks of more individual pieces. So you shift, go back to where you were. I'm going to help you out here. So you shift your weight forward. Your brain thinks about it. You shift your weight forward. You begin to step. What happens next?
slowly start to
No, not yet. That's what I thought. Okay. Your foot continues.
slide out.
Your foot lands. Now, see, this is the part I wanted to get to. This is the part you were leaving out in kata and drill. You are moving your hands before your feet come to rest, which takes power out, makes you off balance, makes all of this. So that's the purpose of this question, is to help elicit this. So, foot land, then continue with your answer. With the hip twist and everything else that you were talking about. Right, exactly correct. That's what I was looking for. So, you're getting in too much of a rush to get the hand out. Your base is not stable. Now, does that mean that I cannot punch on one leg? No. But what it does mean is I can't punch mid-bounce. It's more about my balance point than how many feet I have on the ground. So I can stand here and think and punch and still deliver power because my balance and my base is stable. But if I'm here and I'm punching here, I've got nothing to go with. Okay, fine. We're just pointing it out. So, wherever we were, pick up where we left off. Keep that in mind.
Right, question. Yep. I cannot remember the name of this block because we really don't do it conventionally, but
We don't.
what is it called? What's the English term? That's like one of the doctor's offices, they tell me you're lamp your tube, and you're like, okay, can you,
Rubber permanent is plugged. Low inside.
Okay, so it's low inside. And then I'm trying to, something that I'm not sure how to, she hasn't learned the horse stance yet fully, so I'm showing you. I'm trying to explain how this,
It's about keeping global movement.
that I have to learn the stances first.
Probably start keeping the horse.
Yes, and that's what we're doing. But the thing I'm trying to figure out is how to show, because we're doing this, I'm trying to like, okay, so go to the first stance. And I'm doing the horse stance. I'm trying to explain that leg, and some kids are a little different from us, and I'm not sure how to. Yeah, the way you just move it. There you go. So, I think what it is, and I told you I didn't know if it's your body or, but use your knees, like put your knees even in the front stance. Don't. All right. So are they sore from this or just your legs are always sore? Okay. All right. Well, technically, you want your knees to bend in, and when you do the horse stance, the same thing. They're bent. They're not here. You're sitting on it. Well, you know, not really, because when you're in a front stance, this knee is already bent like that. All you're doing, I told you, is this one is turning to match that knee. So it's really, it's not that you're going down lower, you're technically at the same height.
Everybody young. Keep going. You need to really, you want to ask something to
You're technically at the same height. What the principle that they'll teach us, which is hard, but that when you're moving, for instance, when you're doing this, you don't go up and down, you're at the same height. So my knee for the front stance is here. The only thing I'm doing for horse stance really is taking this leg and twisting it. And this moves a little to accommodate so you don't just keep it stiff in here, but it really is just this one is moving. So I'm taking whatever the hell this is, not the heel, the big underneath the big toe and turning. So my heel is turning in towards. So that's all I'm doing.
Elijah, you stay right where you are. Right down that direction you want this to go. How to teach point for all of you who especially to teach this. What you're seeing in her front knee when she makes the transition is absolutely right. But your assessment as to why, though, I don't believe you for that.
I can't figure it out.
So here's the teaching point. Okay. I want you to make that transition between the front foot and the back foot. Back. 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 Okay. Leg up too short. Did you stay right there for a minute? Okay. What's going on in your front leg? That I don't like. The knee is flexing in.
Okay.
Okay. That's good. Now, I hope you see this.
and I think it's because she really needs to make it go out.
I'm looking at the wrong way. This is the teaching point. Sometimes, if there's a problem in one place, that place isn't the problem. The problem is somewhere else. I want you to
Just going too far over.
once here, and I made my transition. Now, anytime I go a little bit forward and back to make a transition, watch what happens when I do this.
Okay, so she's dragging it.
No, look at this foot.
Right, but I mean, is this dragging this one?
No. Well, yes, but not for the reason that you're looking at. Because I can't really get my knee to do it. But I'm gonna relax this leg to make this one.
She's trying to keep that one
Pivot on
totally.
the heel, not on the ball of the foot. The Chinese martial arts pivot on the heel. Vietnam said, enough with that nonsense, we're doing it the right way, and we pivot on the ball. So, when you make that transition, I want you to lift up your heel, pivot on the ball of your foot. Again. Again. And you see how it moves a little bit, it doesn't have that major flexion here. It's not right. Right. And there is this twisting that is maintaining posture.
I'm feeling like it's moving more than it needs to.
Okay, go back there.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out how to explain it, but I don't know how to.
At this point, my suggestion would be you make that part a little, okay?
And that might be too the fatigue.
And that's one of those details that going to take some practice. That's good. Now, if you describe to her what a Chico is, other than just a shift in front. You talked about.
No, I explained it as a shift in the front stance.
Okay, well, explain to her what Chico is.
A shift in the front stance. So,
Similar to what we did with the front stance earlier. The front
so-
stance is shoulder width
okay,
apart,
yeah.
70-30,
yeah, shoulder, you should be aligned with your shoulder. You shouldn't be wider than your shoulder. It should be the same. And
Define that more, because I disagree with the wording, I know what you're saying, I disagree with the wording. Are you shoulder width apart?
pardon me?
Are you shoulder width apart?
I think I am.
What is shoulder width apart?
My knees.
Your knees, okay, that's the part I missed to say, shoulder width apart. Knees are shoulder width apart. Good. Keep going, okay.
And the distribution for this one is 50-50 distribution on your legs, whereas with this 70% was here, that's why 70% is back here, right? With this, you're shifting and you should be resting 50-50 on both sides. One shouldn't be heavier than the other. You should be leaning on one harder than the other. Okay? The way I look at it, it's like a ladder. This is the bottom of the ladder, and it's holding this up. So it keeps it, and I use the front stance as the gauge of, am I wide enough? Because whatever a front stance is, I turn it, I know that's the way, because I'm not moving it and turning it, I'm not going further and doing it, I'm going from the front stance and just turning it. It's there, it's correct because of the position I was in for the front stance. That's why I guess it'd be important too, if you don't have your front stance like this, because then you're going to be off and everything else. You have your front.
Alright, good. You hit most of the high points. The one thing I'll add to that, we left out is when we talked about the front stance, but it's now germane to the Chico. How long should a front stance be? You know how wide it is, it's shoulder width apart from the feet. Yeah? How long should it be?
Is it depends an answer?
It is.
It depends, but I would say it's as long. If you were stretched, if you were to take your upper body, it's about evenly distributed because it's holding you up evenly. So if you took your torso and laid it down there, it's about that length apart.
We'll put different words to it, but it's right. Your words can be a little nice to get this right. If that makes sense to anybody else, you need it. Different set of words to it. leg work.
Actually, I found better words. Your torso should be at the center of the length of it. So if you were to measure, it should be the same amount of space from your front.
How much space is that? You're hanging right on the road on what you have on.
How much space? I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. The front stand is shoulder width apart, and it's twice shoulder width wide, which is long, which is how this works. So that's what was confusing. You said shoulder width and your knee. I hadn't heard anybody describe it that way before, but you're absolutely correct. The feet, though, are twice the shoulder width, twice this than how you explain it.
Even in the first sense, it's twice.
Feet, flip the foot is like twice hip width and twice shoulder width.
All right, hip width, yeah. Shoulder feels like it's not twice for me, but hip
For
feels
most people are not like bodybuilders.
Thank you, sir. So the issue, again, back to it was that,
What day and idea?
right, so it should be the ball of your foot. That's what I was trying to remember. I said here, I don't know what it's called. Ball of your foot.
Now, the question is, why does that matter?
Why? Because if you do it the other way, it pulls.
The pull. Exactly.
And the other piece I think I got now, what was, I guess you told me not to try, but I'm gonna try. I make sure this knee is pointing. If it's pointing in, then I know it's, I make it point, that I make it point out. I make sure it's pointing out. I know it's wrong if it's going like this, because it's not pointing in the same direction.
Oh, you're trying so hard. All right, let's see. You're absolutely right where you're trying to go. You're on the right road 100%. So we're going to, how I prefer to talk about it in most martial arts that I have ever dealt with, like to frame it off of your body as a weapon. So shoulder width, twice shoulder width, so that we get out of these all the head. So you use 6 inches, you use 8.5 inches, you use 4 inches, 4 inches, get out of that. So, when I'm in my shoe go, my knees and my toes are pointing 45 off of my body. And my thighs want to be about 45 degrees. I don't want to be so low that my thighs start to flatten. Because you can never move out of that. That's why I went to a tournament one time. I think I told you the story before. Was observing, wasn't participating. And it was all this open tournament, made up topics and that good stuff. Lady about his size got up there, called out to him, he's like, ooh, where are fine, here you go. First motion is you drop into a Shiko. She dropped into a Shiko where her rear end was like that far off the ground. Like, and her knees, her thighs were actually down at her.
How do you do that?
Yeah, exactly.
This hurts.
Yeah. And from A, it's going to be a horrible body mechanics. There's no way you can fight them. There's no way you can do anything with power. It was just, it was an ugly fight. So, weight 50-50, feet and knees 45. So one thing I want to avoid when I'm trying to do this without smoking my knees, I don't want my kneecap and my toes pointing in different directions. For Shiko, knee and toes point the same direction, about 45 degrees. And again, thighs about 45. Once you get into that. That's what you can better with you. Yeah, going back to the toes again. Transitioning on the toes does not cause this leg to do strange things. Sitting on the heel, I'm going to move back so I don't want your knee. Does. What, for you two, what does this tell us about sparring one guy?
It does it.
Keep going.
If you move on the ball of your foot, it does not impact your fighting distance.
Exactly. So, what is the difference between distance and fighting distance?
Fighting distance is how far you can actually throw a technique and it will hit something. How far you have to be away and it will hit something. Distance is just pure distance.
I like that.
Fighting distance is how far your back leg is from wherever you're trying to get to.
Okay. Good.
Your foot, your ball of your foot.
Ball at your back foot.
Ball of your back foot.
Right. Okay, so, as Carson said, physical distance is just whatever the distance I physically measure between the two of them. So don't move. If I'm here, what part of don't move did you miss? Thank you. Okay. If I take a tape measure and I put it from chest to chest, it's going to come out to whatever it is. Probably about 8 feet maybe. But if I move back, excuse me, if I do this, I have increased the physical distance between the two of us. It's probably about maybe 8.5, maybe 9 feet maybe. Right? Have I changed my fighting distance at all? No, I have not. Combative distance, fighting distance, as Carson pointed out, is the distance with which you can throw technique, the land technique. And as Greg pointed out, it is based off of the ball of your rear foot. So as long as I don't move the ball of that rear foot, everything I do keeps my weapons in the same distance. The second that I move the ball, I've actually moved myself away. That's why moving that heel does weird things to your legs and your distance. It's one of the reasons that people suck you in at a heartbeat. Because a lot of people do not understand this. One of the best things, one really good thing in sparring is you set your distance, whatever that is. Slide back and think, okay, you're backing up. I might even cross my rear foot. As long as I don't establish weight, the ball of my back foot is not moved. And they eat 3 seconds coming in because they charge in thinking you're backing up. But right now we're out there. Okay, they can keep up. Nothing running on that. So, what do we learn about teaching ball nosing? Where do we start?
Stances.
Stances. Make sure they don't go about it. How far do we get? First 2 blocks?
The first half of, well, almost the first 2 blocks, yeah. First 3 blocks.
First 3 blocks. Okay, cool. So, first 3 blocks and keep going.
Now, I don't know if you remember how many full obviously, but you got
For 15 minutes, and when that exercise is more about you than about us. All the way you get that. You miss that. Okay, you do well. I like what I was doing. You do realize that Sean right now is sitting in your couch with straw and down a bottle of whiskey, crying about how badly you embarrassed us, right? Okay. I could be colorblind, but I'm pretty sure there's a black thing around the waist. That has a certain expectation. You need to work on being up here one day. So that's how I'm going to include you in this part. Okay. This is learning. This is not me chastising you about this. Everybody's been where you are. Everybody needs to learn. When you're teaching, and you will someday be here teaching this to other people, you need to have these details down. It can't be, well, it's kind of sort of this and no. It is this way. Something to work with.
So I actually have to think of it more step by step instead of just the basic muscle memory motion that I come to.
That is an excellent point. Thank you for bringing that up. Let me put a little bit of different wording to it, but you're absolutely right. Everybody is involved in one way or another in teaching your replacement. I mean, teaching you guys, and one day you're going to be up here instead of me.
Succession planning. Succession planning.
Succession planning, exactly. Greg had 2 children, so hopefully he's training them to replace them.
They're already better than me.
Okay, well, there we go. Mission successful. So again, when you guys are up here, you're training your replacement. And then you'll be up here. You're quiet, by the way. Not loud. You need, it is your responsibility to pass on what you learn as completely and correctly as possible. And here's the worst thing from the teaching aspect. If you guys go out there and do something stupid and get hurt, that's on you. You guys go out there and do something I told you to do and get hurt, then I probably have to bear the burden on that if I talk to you for that. But so you telling somebody, oh, the angle of this is maybe kind of sort of this way, and he eats one in the face, that's on you. Okay? If I tell you it is this angle, and you go out and believe you and walk into a punch, that's on you. Oh! We train to make this internal, subconscious. So that when we respond for whatever, that punch comes, we block it down, we don't even think about it. Then comes the day we got to teach it. And we go, I know how to do it. This is how you do it. And your student goes, that doesn't mean anything to me. So you're training, and then you become a teacher, and you literally have to step back and rethink everything that you're doing so that you can explain it at the level of your student. If I had a black belt come in here, and they wanted to learn rise and block the way we do it, I just show them, and they do it, because they have a certain level of background. Brand new people, you can't just go, okay, do this. I have seen that, and in the beginning I did that until I was diverted. So you literally have to take yourself back and re-examine everything you've been doing in its infinitesimal detail, or it's presented to somebody else. And that, I think, is part of the deal. Try to rethink everything that you've been doing.
One of the things as I teach in my job, one of the things I always say is, you know, a basketball player, when you're the player, you're shooting, when you're the coach, you're not focused on the actual ball, you're focused on the mechanics of how you're handling up and turn, and then the ball goes in. That's an after effect of the way your body did it. Same thing here, you're not focused on necessarily the block, you're focused on bring your hand down and torque it, and it ends up being the block, but you're focused on the mechanics of that.
Absolutely, because you're absolutely right. I like that analysis.
I actually happy with that, so that's going to be my training.
Well, too bad.
You're lucky you can beat me. You're lucky you can beat me. I was going to say you can't beat me, but you can.
You might want to have your wife start to talk to me. Well, you might have me start to talk. Okay, but you're absolutely right. The person performing is worried about the end result. Whatever it is. The person teaching, that's absolutely an afterthought. Getting all these little details. Yes. And in the beginning, again, today was just fun. Okay? We've all been there, so don't worry about what happened.
Yeah, I know if I'm going to get, I know I'm rusty now.
Okay, again, don't internalize tonight as something negative. More
Oh, I know
fun.
this is basically a learning experience, but I need to stay.
Well, trust me, I get it worse sometimes. I'm surprised I did so well today.
And then there's days you realize I screwed up.
Yeah, we've all been there. I can't tell you how many times I've driven home after class, doing class, teaching class, going, oh, that's what I screwed up. And I have to write it down. Come back in here, the next class, and go, everything that I taught you yesterday is wrong. Is what I did wrong. So we've all been there, done that. So in the beginning, when you start teaching, kind of like when you were doing tonight, we call it big chunks. That's the big spectrum. The better you become a teacher, those chunks get smaller, the details get smaller, the chunks are making smaller and smaller pieces, more and more details. Then comes the next hurdle in teaching. How much information do you give one person at one time?
That's
So like we're talking, we could keep on the deck for another 3 hours, and it would become in one ear, not the other. Not because anything wrong with you, but it's just an overload of information.
Also, don't want someone, make somebody say, forget it, man, listen
Okay.
to it.
Absolutely right. Right. Absolutely. All right. Oh, okay, so I'm glad you're having fun. Questions, comments, concerns? All good? All right. So this is good right this way. I got the, what's in it?